Maize and Blue, what up, though? It's your boy, T. Back at it again with another episode of Talking with T. Let's get into it. Let's get after it, man. On this channel, we talk about Detroit sports and we chase down the best version of ourselves. If that interests you, do me a favor and hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. It really helps this channel grow and get in the algorithm, and I really appreciate you for taking the time out of your day to rock with me, T. So let's dive right into this Michigan rout of Rutgers last night. What a game that was. The first half was a little scary. At halftime, we're losing to Rutgers 17-14. We should have been rolling them. We gave them free points with the block punt. That's really when the game turned around in the first half. It gave Rutgers a little bit of momentum. But in the second half, it's been a second half team. Michigan is a second half team. This whole year, there's teams that play us close in the first half, and we just come out in the third quarter. I don't know what Jim Harbaugh and the staff is telling them at halftime, but we just come out and we throttle teams in the second half. They're almost wore out. Shout out to our strength and conditioning coach, because some of these teams just don't even want to compete with us towards the end. If you watched the Penn State game a couple weeks ago, Penn State was giving up in the second half. They didn't want anything to do with that offensive line. And mind you, Michigan was down 4 starters yesterday. We didn't have Ryan Hayes. We didn't have Makari Page. We didn't have a few players that started, and maybe that hurt us a little bit in the first half. But we got it together in the second half. And shout out to Michael Barrett. 2 picks yesterday, had a pick 6. And shout out to the freshman, Will Johnson, to have another pick last night. And we can't leave out Lightning and Lightning. Both went over 100. Blake Corum had 2 touchdowns. Donovan Edwards had receiving touchdowns. Both broke away 40-yard runs. Blake might have certified himself. May have put himself in the first place for Heisman yesterday. CJ Stroud struggled against Northwestern, but they're going to blame the inclement weather. The way I look at that Ohio State 21-7 Northwestern game yesterday, why can't Ohio State run the ball? If you have inclement weather, run the football. Looks like they couldn't run it against Northwestern yesterday, so that means they're a little one-dimensional. So if you take the passing game away from Ohio State, Michigan's got a good chance of winning that game. I'm so pumped for that game. I really think Michigan's going to go down to Columbus and win this year. So many people are like, "Oh, Michigan can't score in the red zone." Looks like we answered that question yesterday. We scored in the first possession in the red zone. It took us 4 tries. The next tries, it took us 4 tries, but we still did it. We were 4 for 4 in the red zone or something like that. I'll take that, because last week everyone was like, "Oh, Michigan can't score touchdowns in the red zone." Well, they did. They answered that question yesterday. Jake Booty, come on. I know it was windy yesterday, but we can't be missing 2 field goals. He'll get it together. That's Money Moody. That's my boy. And another tipsy of the week is the college football playoff ranking committee, man. What are you doing having Clemson ranked higher than us? Oh yeah, but that got answered last night when Clemson lost 35-14 to Notre Dame. Tennessee, number 1 ranked team, went to Georgia and shit the bed 27-13. Ohio State lost 21-7. Alabama lost in overtime to LSU. The playoff is wide open, and I think, honestly, you're going to start hearing the case that both Michigan and Ohio State may be in the college football playoff. This is my case for it. They're 2 of the better teams in the country. They're both undefeated, and whoever loses that game is just going to be standing there. Like, there's a bunch of 2-loss teams. There may be a couple 1-loss teams, but who wants the Pac-12 in there? Nobody wants the Pac-12 in there. They're going to get throttled by the Big Ten or the SEC. The best teams in the country right now are Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State, and you can almost leave Tennessee in the top 4 from what they played yesterday. That was a tough environment. The weather was coming down yesterday, and they got Hagden Hooker. They got a Heisman Trophy candidate as their quarterback. Alabama lost, then TCU won, so there's only 4 remaining undefeated teams, right? They said Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State, and TCU. So that's probably going to be your top 4. And you're probably going to see Tennessee and maybe, I don't know who. It's not going to be Clemson. Clemson's going to fall way out of the top 10 after losing like that to an unranked Notre Dame team. But I'm super excited with how Michigan comes out in the second half. That is so huge. I'm pumped with how they played yesterday, how they responded. JJ was hitting on a few deep balls. He missed a few, but that touchdown to Donovan Edwards was a beautiful pass. The touchdown to Cornelius Johnson was a beautiful pass. It was just an all-around good game for Michigan in the second half yesterday. They woke up after the first half. I just couldn't believe we were going into halftime 17-14 down to Rutgers. I was like, here we go. In the last few years, we played Rutgers pretty tight. For 2 years ago, the COVID year, that's where Cade McNamara came on through 4 touchdown passes. That's where he really came on the scene. And then last year, we only beat them 21-14 in Ann Arbor. So Rutgers has been playing us pretty hard. But last night, we shut them out 38-0 in the second half. Michigan is rolling right now. We got Nebraska coming up. That's going to be playing for that trophy that Taylor Lewan and Will Compton made. Michigan should win that the first time. And then now we got Illinois, who lost to Michigan State yesterday, and Illinois is ranked. The Big Ten West is wide open. Then it's the doozy, Ohio State. And I think we're going to go down there to Columbus this year and win. It's your boy T signing out. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for tuning in.